boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen. This is Sam again from Calgary Music Tutor. Today, I have a very important lecture on the staff for you. Now, let's start with what a staff is. What is a staff? Okay, a staff consists of 5 lines and 4 spaces. 5 lines and 4 spaces. So these are the lines: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lines, and then these are the spaces: 1, 2, 3, 4 spaces. Now we have 2 types of staff. We have the treble staff, which is represented by the treble clef, or if you like, G clef. It's the same thing as G clef. Okay? And or we have the bass clef or bass staff, where you find the bass clef, which is represented by the F. We call it F clef. Those are the 2. Now, as I told you, I have a very, very easy way for you to be able to remember. Now, the easy way for you to be able to remember the staff is basically that you memorize the following acronym: G, B, D, and then face. Now, what is the meaning of G, B, D, and face? So G, B, D, and face represent every other key on the keyboard. So you remember that between G and B, there will be A. Between B and D, there will be what? C. So this is a formula for you representing every other key on the keyboard or the guitar, which is also equivalent to your lines, because between your first line and your second line, you will find a space there. So that means that it is every other line. So what does this mean? It means that if we put a treble clef on the staff, turning it to a treble staff, we now get E as the first line, G, be with me now, G as the second, B as the third, D as the fourth, and F as the last one. Remember this formula, GBD face. Okay, so that means that if you take GBD here, you can see that pattern. That means that you can have, so after GBD you have face, after face you have GBD, in that order, and then after GBD you have face again. It continues like that. So you have face, and then you still have face. So this is a very good way for you to be able to remember what we call the ledger lines. These are the ledger lines. This is a very good way for you to remember the ledger lines. Ledger lines are lines that are above or below the staff. Remember, the staff has only 5. But sometimes you want to represent other keys on the keyboard that are, beyond just the staff. So that's how you remember. So if you remember face, GBD, face, you'll be able to remember and be able to play faster. Now let's look at the spaces quickly because of our time. The space here is represented by face. But what do we have above and what do we have below? You guessed right, GBD. So we have GBD. Okay? We have lines here, even those are spaces, and we still have G, B, and what? D. So this is a very easy way for you to be able to remember. If you remember GBD face or face GBD face, GBD face GBD or face GBD face, you'll be able to remember the lines and the spaces. This is a different technique that we believe that if you practice, it's going to make it easy for you. You remember we've been talking about the Cytopia game. The game Cytopia, the rule number 3 is about knowing your alphabet. So this is an aspect that deals with rule number 3. Now, I want to quickly draw the bass staff and apply this GBD face or face GBD. Now, I will draw 5 lines quickly. 5 lines. And then put the base there. Remember, we have 2 dots. One on the 3rd space and one on the 4th space. Now, normally we say, this one we say, good boy does fine always. And this one we say, all cows eat grass, right? That's what we say. But remember, we were talking about GBD face, okay? So we can take our GBD out here. That means that we have face. So that shows you that the first line, legend line above is C, and the next one is E. And then we can see have our face in that order. And then remember, this is part of the face. We have F here, we have our face here. What do we have here? GBD. We have B, we have a line D. And then below that, we have GBD also. Okay? So you can find out face, GBD, GBD, face, face. So that's the way it is. So this technique will be able to help you to not only to master what is on the staff, but also to master the letters or your alphabet above or below the staff. So please, if you have questions, please leave it in the comment section below. Thank you very much.